Hi, Eric here. So this time I'm going to be reviewing Against the Fall of the Night by Arthur C. Clarke. Let me move up a little bit. It's about 155 pages, I think. I just got done reading it, so no better time to do a review of something than when you're fresh from reading it or fresh from whatever. With this book, it has become apparent why I created this channel, why I'm reviewing it. I had the strongest sense of deja vu the whole time. The um I remembered the main city or the idea of it. The and I kind of remember vague points, and rereading it, I knew I've read this somewhere. I checked my bookshelf like 3 or 4 times to see if I actually had this book in there. I thought I gave it away. So I definitely felt like this was a reread. So, after I read something, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. That type of thing. But I read it anyways. Short book, short novel, not novella. I don't know. It's a short read anyway. So to get into it, I enjoyed it. It was, I think it's, what did I see from the 50s or something? I think it was uh, published in the 50s. Yeah, 50s. And I'm kind of a big fan of that. It's science fiction. Might be hard sci-fi, being Arthur C. Clarke. Science fiction, adventure, maybe. It um, it was good. The story takes place, like, I think it's a billion years in the future, very, very far into the future, and focuses on our main character, Alvin. I remember the name this time, Alvin, who lives in this city of immortality and grandeur and everything of want the citizens of this place have. I mean, everything you could possibly want is there. I mean, it's a magnificent city. Just you don't have to do anything. Like, there's these, not escalators, but just moving roads that just take you to wherever you want. Expressionless art that you can view for infinity. It just anything, synthesizers that create any food you desire, or just anything you want. And this city, you could have whatever you want in this city, but you can't have the freedom to explore outside of it. So they kind of like, it's kind of like I don't want to say a prison, but it's just they don't want its citizens to leave, so to speak. And of course, our main character has that desire to explore outside the city, and that's where it takes place. And Alvin is the first human born in the city from in like 7,000 years or something. So he's essentially a child that's very old, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. They exactly say his age. I'm thinking a couple hundred years. But so he's pretty much a child compared to everybody else, and his innate desire to explore leads to the story of the book. Anyway, yeah, like I said, the whole time I felt like I had deja vu, but it was kind of a slow burn. Yeah, I'd say it was a slow burn, kind of getting up to the mystery of this city and what it is, and then him wanting, then him spoilers, but him finally leaving the city, finding a way out, making. I think he has an accomplice, so there's only like there's one our main protagonist, and he meets like four people, and really that's you really don't follow that many people, but his journey, him escaping the city, finding a way out, and I think finding another city that no one knew about, so he kind of found that city with other people that had a totally different look on life, a totally different way of living. They gave up the idea of immortality, so they had a finite life, and in return they had these incredible mental telepathic powers. They could read minds, but they were happy. They had forests surrounding them. They as opposed to like the hustle and bustle of this city that Alvin lived in. This I think Lys, Lys. This city was just like the rural, the outskirts of the city. Not the country. I don't even know what the forest and all that. Just that part of everything. So it was, and then the whole thing with once he got there, they didn't want to be exposed. They didn't want their lives to change, so they threatened to, erase his memory if he wanted to go back. And of course, you know, he finds a way out of that, which was cool. So then I think once he discovered lice, whatever, once he discovered that or made his way to that, the book just started picking up. It just kept going and going and going. And after that, like I said, he discovers more and more of the history and why his people are so scared to leave their city, and he discovers just it's just from then on the history is is built up, and more of it is presented to us, and then the ending, I really like the ending, and then at the ending it's just the total reveal of everything. Like this whole short book, you discover so much history, or so much possibility of history, and then the ending has such a huge payoff where you do find out the history, and you do find out certain enigmas that were presented in the story, and it was good. So I want to say, yeah, I would reread it. Hopefully, this review will help me remember it, so I don't have to. But um, I may have already. This may be my second time rereading it. I have utterly forgotten about this book. So yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it. Like the characters were good. Just ignorant. Couple. Very ignorant, and were kind of accepting of a different belief, and kind of enlightened a little bit to the outside world. And he made one friend who was kind of his age, Theon, who was well, I don't want to say his age, but if Alvin's a child in a world of immortality, this his friend was a child in a world of a finite life. So he was, I don't know, maybe 15 or something. Who knows? Really, no ages are given, but he was young. But mentality wise, they were on the same level. And so I just, him making a friend from a different life, a whole different lifestyle, was interesting, and it was just a good short read. Um, I'm a fan of Arthur C. Clarke so far. I don't really, yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say. I mean, it was just so short. It was just a nice short, A to B book, and you know you go into this world and you come out of it with answers, and that's it. So maybe maybe give it a shot if you like that old hard or that old sci-fi look into what the future would have looked like from the 50s. Those are always pretty cool.